Everybody for praying for me. I was in the hospital. My heart's only beating like 25%, but as long as I stay focused and stay on the right path, then everything will be all right. So thank you for all your.
Ray J is using his last 3 months alive to dismantle the Kardashians. And this time, he claims the FBI is listening. Everyone assumed his rants were the desperate screams of a broken man, but the live stream from last night changes everything. Music, a direct threat, a federal case, and a chilling sign-off. Burn me, don't bury me. While his heart beats at 25%. Sources inside his circle confirm he's on 8 prescriptions, facing a pacemaker, and still pushing forward with a racketeer-influenced in Corrupt Organizations Act case he swears is worse than Diddy. His sister just paid his bills for the year. His ex-wife controls access to his children. And Kris Jenner silent. No lawsuits, no denials, just a polygraph from 2 years ago that was supposed to end this. But here's music, the problem. If this is all a bluff, why is he racing to Haiti in 2 weeks for a cure? No one can verify. And if it's real, why hasn't he disappeared yet? The clock isn't just ticking on his life. It's counting down to something they're clearly afraid to acknowledge. Because when a man with nothing left to lose starts naming names on camera, the real question isn't whether he's telling the truth. It's who's going to silence him first.
Now, Ray J does need our prayers. It ain't got nothing to do with him, being a really, really good, big, nice sponsor up over here. But we want him to see another day. He's a fun guy. I don't have any qualms with him. Ray J is just Ray J. He's just Brandy's little bad brother.
The moment Ray J's live stream cut to black last night, the internet assumed it was another meltdown. A man unraveling under the weight of his own mistakes. His heart failing at 25% capacity. His body betraying him after years of what he himself called music, dark habits. But the people who've been watching this unfold for months say this isn't a breakdown. It's a calculation. The timing alone should raise questions. Music, just 48 hours after his doctors confirmed his heart was operating at a quarter of its strength. Music. He went live with a direct threat. Not to his ex-wife, not to the industry, but to Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian by name. And he didn't just name them. He invoked the FBI. He cited a racketeer-influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act case. He compared it to Diddy's conviction, then went further. It's worse than music, Diddy. That's not the language of a man losing control. That's the language of a man who thinks he's already won.
Remember our last report that we did, he was telling us that he was told by a doctor, heart doctor, that his heart is only operating at 25%. So I'm assuming he's talking about that same doctor. This is where he's getting this information from. But yeah, so after he was released from the hospital in Vegas, that's when he gave us a 25% update. And then this is the newest update. So he's home. And I'm not for sure which information exactly he was given, because this is how he sums it up. But it does sound like it seems like that's giving him a corrective course that he needs to be.
Here's where the story starts to bend. The official narrative, the one floating around entertainment sites this morning, frames this as the final act of a troubled star. His health collapsing, his career in tatters, his personal life a mess after that Thanksgiving incident with the protective order and the allegations involving a firearm. But that narrative ignores the sequence of events leading up to last night. His hospitalization earlier this month wasn't just a medical emergency. It was the moment he stopped playing by the rules. Sources close to the situation say he's been sitting on information for years. Ever since the polygraph test Kris Jenner took in 2022, the one where she denied any involvement in the release of that private recording from 2007, he's never accepted that result. And now with his body failing, he's decided the only leverage he has left is the one thing the Kardashians can't buy, can't spin, and can't silence: a federal investigation, or at least the threat of one. The details don't line up with the desperate man theory. His sister, Brandy Norwood, paid his bills for the rest of the year. That's not the move of someone who thinks he's watching a family member spiral. It's the move of someone who knows what's coming. His music, ex-wife, Princess Love, controls access to their children, but she hasn't filed for full custody or attempted to cut him off financially, even after the protective order. That's not how these situations usually play out. And then music, there's the Haiti trip. A man with a failing heart doesn't jet off to a country in chaos unless he's either running towards something or running from it. And the fact that he's planning to live stream the entire thing suggests it's the former. He's not hiding. He's music, documenting. And the people who've dealt with him in the past say that's the difference between a man who's given up and a man who's preparing for war. The silence from the Kardashian camp is what's making insiders nervous. No lawsuits, no cease and desist letters, no carefully worded statements about false claims or mental health struggles, just radio silence. That's not how this family operates. They've built an empire on controlling narratives, on striking back twice as hard when threatened. So why the quiet? One theory making the rounds is that they're waiting for him to collapse. Literally. His doctors have made it clear he's on borrowed time. 8 prescriptions, a possible pacemaker, a heart that's visibly deteriorating. If they ignore him, the thinking goes, he'll either run out of time or credibility first. But that doesn't explain why he's still talking, and it doesn't explain the FBI reference. Then there's the matter of the timing. His live stream dropped 2 weeks after Sean Combs' conviction on transportation charges, a case Ray J has been oddly vocal about, calling it a setup and predicting Combs would walk free. He was wrong about that, but he's not wrong about the pattern. K's downfall started with whispers, then lawsuits, then a trial that hinged on testimony from people inside his circle. Ray J doesn't have that kind of infrastructure. He doesn't have the money, the lawyers, or the public sympathy. What he does have is a direct line to the Kardashians' worst nightmare. The idea that their success isn't just built on ambition, but on things they've buried. And if he's willing to stake his last months on this, he's either got receipts or he's got nothing left to lose. The problem, music, is those two things start to look the same when the man holding the match is this close to the end.
They're mentally messed up. They're whether you got a $2 billion budget or you got a 200,000, everybody's done. They're going crazy. Suicidal.
The protective order from Thanksgiving is another piece that doesn't fit. The story, as reported, is that he lost control during a custody dispute, that emotions got the better of him, and that the incident was the final straw in a long, unraveling marriage. But people who've seen the live stream footage described something different. A man who knew the camera was rolling, who made sure it was rolling, who seemed almost relieved when the authorities showed up. That's not the behavior of someone who's afraid of consequences. It's the behavior of someone who's already decided the consequences don't matter anymore. And when you put that next to the FBI claim, next to the racketeer-influenced and corrupt organizations Act case reference, next to the fact that he's suddenly talking about Haiti like it's the key to everything, you start to wonder if the real story isn't about his health at all. Maybe the heart condition is just the clock. The question is, what happens when it runs out? His legal team, or what's left of it, hasn't commented on the federal claims. Neither have the Kardashians' representatives. But the lack of denial is what's fueling the speculation. In situations like this, silence isn't neutral. It's a strategy. And the strategy here seems to be waiting him out. But Ray J isn't waiting. He's moving. The Haiti trip is scheduled for 2 weeks from now. His next doctor's appointment is in 14 days. His live stream last night wasn't just a rant. It was a cutoff. 2027 is a wrap for me, he said. That's not a prediction. That's a promise. And the fact that he's still standing, still talking, still pushing forward despite the state of his health suggests he's not doing this alone. The question is who's really pulling the strings? Because a man with 25% of a heart doesn't start a war unless he's already sure he's got the backing to finish it. The other detail that's getting overlooked is the financial angle. His sister paying his bills isn't just a familial gesture. It's a lifeline. And lifelines don't come without conditions. Brandy Norwood isn't just his sister. She's a star in her own right with her own brand, her own reputation, her own team of advisors. She doesn't make moves like this lightly. So, what does she know? What's been discussed behind closed doors? The fact that she's the one handling his expenses suggests music. This isn't just about keeping the lights on. It's about keeping him alive long enough to see this through. And if that's the case, then the 3-month timeline isn't just a medical prognosis. It's a countdown to what exactly is the part no one's figured out yet.
And I mean, just the funny part about this is that when you're that rich, you just do what you do. Yeah, and totally. This time, the police came and they kind of schooled him, which I think is really interesting. It doesn't matter that it's Jeff Bezos.
Right.
But, by the way, we should say, it was thrown by Chris's daughters.
Yes.
Backslash. But here's the part that should make anyone paying attention. Music, pause. The Kardashians have never lost a fight like this. They've buried stories. They've outlasted opponents. They've turned scandals into publicity. Music, so why is this one different? Why hasn't Kris Jenner gone on the offensive? Why hasn't Kim Kardashian's team flooded the zone with distractions? The only explanation that makes sense is that they're not just ignoring him. They're isolating him, and if that's true, then the Haiti trip isn't about a cure. It's about getting out of reach. Because when you're dealing with a family that spent 2 decades perfecting the art of the takedown, the last place you want to be is within their jurisdiction. The fact that he's broadcasting his plans to leave the country isn't a cry for help. It's a signal. And the people who know how these things work say it's the kind of signal you only send when you've already decided you're not coming back.
All I wanted to do was have a good Thanksgiving.
Why did you wake my daughter up?
Right?
Because you selfish.
Delusional.
You're drunk.
You're a woman abuser.
You're
and
drunk.
You're delusional.
I'm a woman. That's
Yes,
what drunk
you
people
are.
say. Like you're taking my daughter?
Grow the f up.
All right,
Seriously.
cool.
You need
All
to
You're not taking my son.
Ray,
Like, I
get
know
up.
you're not taking my son. Hey, don't.
What's being whispered now is that this isn't just about the tape or the money or even the federal claims. It's about the one thing the Kardashians have never been able to control. A man with nothing left to lose and a direct line to an audience that's finally starting to listen. Music, the live stream last night wasn't just a confession. It was an invitation. And the fact that no one's accepted it yet is the most terrifying part of all. Because in a world where silence is the ultimate weapon, the only thing more dangerous than a man who's willing to burn it all down is the possibility that someone's handing him the match. The clock is ticking. His heart is failing. And the Kardashians, they're waiting. But for what exactly is the question no one's asking yet, and that's the part that should keep you up at night. The pattern here isn't just Ray J's collapse. It's the way the Kardashians handle threats. And this one doesn't fit their usual playbook. When you went public with his grievances, they let him exhaust himself, then absorbed the chaos into their brand. When Tristan Thompson's scandals flared, they controlled the narrative with strategic silence and selective leaks. But with Ray J, there's no counteroffensive. No sympathetic interviews with Kris Jenner about family struggles. No carefully placed sources suggesting he's troubled or needs help. The silence isn't just notable, it's a tell. And the tell is that they're not treating this like a scandal, they're treating it like a negotiation. The question is what he's offering in exchange for his quiet exit. This isn't the first time Ray J has positioned himself as the man who could unravel them. Back in 2022, after Kris Jenner's polygraph on that late night show, he erupted online, calling the results inhumane and foul at the highest level. But that was anger without leverage. Now he's got a failing heart, a federal threat, and a direct line to an audience that's finally paying attention. The difference, last time he was fighting for his reputation. This time he's fighting for his legacy. And when a man in his position starts talking about racketeer-influenced and corrupt organizations, act cases, and worse than Diddy, he's not just lashing out, he's signaling that he's got something they can't afford to ignore. The fact that they're ignoring him anyway suggests one of two things. Either they've already neutralized the threat, or they're waiting for him to make the first move. Neither option ends well for him. The Haiti trip is the part that doesn't add up. A country in turmoil isn't where you go for medical treatment unless you've exhausted every other option or unless you're not really going for your health. The live stream aspect is what's raising eyebrows. If this were just about a cure, he wouldn't be broadcasting it. He's not a wellness influencer. He's a man who spent the last decade in the shadows of his own career, overshadowed by his famous sister, his infamous ex, and the tape that defined him. So why now? Why Haiti? The timing lines up with his next doctor's appointment and the one that could determine if he's getting a pacemaker or if his heart is beyond saving. That's not a coincidence. That's not cut off. And when you're dealing with a family that spent years perfecting the art of the takedown, you don't set cutoffs unless you've got a reason to believe you'll still be standing when the clock runs out. The other piece of this is the money. His sister paying his bills isn't just a gesture. It's a lifeline. And lifelines come with expectations. Music, Brandy Norwood isn't just writing checks out of familial duty. She's a businesswoman with her own brand, her own team, her own advisors. She doesn't make moves like this without calculating the risks. So what's the play? Is she helping him go out with dignity, or is she helping him stay alive long enough to drop whatever he's sitting on? Music, the fact that she's the one handling his finances suggests this isn't just about keeping the lights on. It's about keeping him in the game. And if that's the case, then the 3-month timeline isn't just a medical prognosis. It's a window. The question is, what happens when that window closes? The Kardashian silence is the most revealing part of all this. They don't stay quiet when they're threatened. They don't ignore music problems. They crush them. So why the radio silence now? One theory is that they're waiting for him to collapse. His health is deteriorating. His credibility is shaky. If they let him keep talking, the thinking music goes he'll either run out of time or run out of steam first. But that doesn't explain why he's still standing. And it doesn't explain why he suddenly got the confidence to name names and invoke federal investigations. The other possibility is that they're not ignoring him at all. They're isolating him. And if that's the case, then the Haiti trip isn't about a cure. It's about getting out of reach. Because when you're dealing with a family that spent 2 decades perfecting the art of the takedown, the last place you want to be is within their jurisdiction.
Documentary and be able to tell your own story, because they can't sue you if it's facts.
They can't sue me, period. These isn't facts. This is life. This is me like telling you that it's white and you're saying it's black. And they're like, well, it's blacker than white right now just because we don't want to get in trouble. We're getting cease and desist because we see the paper is white. But they're saying it's black with a cease and desist.
The other detail that's getting overlooked is the way this mirrors the Diddy case. Sean Combs' downfall started with whispers, then lawsuits, then a trial that hinged on testimony from people inside his circle. Ray J doesn't have that kind of infrastructure. He doesn't have the money, the lawyers, or the public sympathy. What he does have is a direct line to the Kardashians' worst nightmare. The idea that their success isn't just built on ambition, but on things they've buried. And if he's willing to stake his last months on this, he's either got receipts or he's got nothing left to lose. The problem is those two things start to look the same when the man holding the match is this close to the end. The fact that he's still talking, still moving, still pushing forward despite the state of his health suggests he's not doing this alone. The question is, who's really pulling the strings? Because a man with 25% of a heart doesn't start a war unless he's already sure he's got the backing to finish it. The other angle that's being discussed in private circles is the possibility that this isn't just about Ray J. The timing of his hospitalization lines up with a shift in the music industry. The Diddy conviction sent shockwaves through entertainment circles, proving that even the most untouchable figures can fall. The fact that Ray J is invoking that case specifically, saying his is worse, suggests he's not just lashing out. He's positioning himself as the next domino. And if that's music, the case, then the Kardashian silence isn't just about waiting him out. It's about assessing the damage. Because if he's got something real, then the question isn't whether he'll survive the next 3 months, it's whether they will. So, here's where we're left. A dying man with a camera, a family that doesn't flinch, and a 3-month countdown that's ticking down music to something. The Kardashians don't lose fights like this. They don't stay silent unless they've already won. So, what are they waiting for? Is this the calm before the storm or the moment before the match gets lit? One thing's clear, Ray J isn't backing down. And if he's telling the truth, they should be terrified. If he's lying, they should be even more terrified because a man with nothing left to lose and a direct line to an audience that's finally listening is music, the most dangerous kind of opponent there is. So, what do you think? Is this the final meltdown of a broken man or the first move in a takedown that's been 19 years in the making? Drop your theories below because one thing's for sure, this isn't over yet. Not by a long shot.